Hey everybody, welcome back. What's going on? It's Jordan and Luna here. Welcome back to another vlog. So we're going to be doing a few different things today. We're going to start building the platforms for the Lego City. That's going to be next level. I was up early this morning dealing with drywall texturing. Well, ceiling texturing. That was fun. And now I'm off to a bank appointment. So taking care of business. It's going to be a busy day. Just finished up at the bank. Now we got to get the doggos some food. Man, it feels like I've spent my entire day so far driving around. It's 1 o'clock. I was on the road by 7:45. Just been driving around and dealing with stuff. But now I'm looking at the old Bricksie wood pile here. We're going to try and come up with a new way to create our 15-inch platforms for the Lego City. Here in the Bricksie wood pile, we've got some 2x6s that look like they might be useful right there. Also, we've got a long 2x6 right there. Now I need to test something here. The first thing I got to do is extract this plate right here. Probably should use 2 hands before I strip the screw. Oh, there we go. So I got to extract this plate because these are the plates that we're going to use. So now I'm going to take this plate here and line it up with this 2x4 and discover that the 2x4 is not wide enough to accommodate the plate. However, the 2x6 is. Now you can see what I did here. I used this little block right here and I screwed the plate into the block, and then the screws went into the melamine and it just had enough to hold on. The problem was with melamine is it sort of chips out and the screws really don't hold well in the melamine. So I've got a new plan that involves 2x6s and also 15-inch pieces of melamine. So yeah, I think I'm going to build a frame using 2x6s and top it with melamine. Time to head out and do a whole bunch more errands. I've been driving around all day and going to continue doing it. Can you hear my dogs? They are not happy that we're leaving. You can hear them. That's the howl. All right, everybody, long days require long coffees. The big question is can I walk by these without getting one? Jose, it's officially the 3rd day in a row that we've been to West Edmonton Mall. Your husband is starting to go crazy. Why are we here? Well, we got to return our old phones that we traded in. The next thing we have to do is get a new case for Jose. And we also put some skins on our phone, our screen protectors. They're like glass, which is good because my last phone, I broke it. I put a big ding in the glass when I was raking the leaves. It fell out of my pocket and I had a dead spot on my screen. It sucks. Jose doesn't like my case. It's like too futuristic for her. Look at this though. It's got like this thing here.
Looks like Tony Stark's phone.
It's Tony Stark's phone. It's like out of Halo. It's got that. You can use that as a, you know, it's sweet. So our next stop is actually Winners. We got our cribs off Facebook Buy Sell for $100 each. They're normally like $500 each. And now we're looking for mattresses for those cribs because, of course, we're having twins, right? We found these for we found these by accident while we were wandering around the other day waiting for our phones to transfer. Actually, Jose found it while I was just browsing other stuff in the mall. And there's 2 of them, and they're $65 each, and they're normally like well over $100. So we're going to buy these from Winners because we think that's a steal of a deal. So I have a P.O. box, and I had it at a Canada Post office. And I knew the Canada Post, or the owner of that Canada Post, a long time, 20 years. We got the unfortunate news not too long ago that he passed away. It's sad. And that's where our P.O. box was. And now we got the news that they're closing the Canada Post that had our P.O. box. So, I had to go open a new P.O. box at a different place and get all the mail forwarded from the old P.O. box to this P.O. box. And we have to change all of our descriptions on our videos, probably like 1,500, 2,000 videos. So we have to change all of our descriptions with the new P.O. box number. That'll be fun, hey, Jose?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of fun. Yeah, it's sad. I knew him for a long time, but now we have a new P.O. box number. It's actually not a P.O. box, it's a suite number. Suite 580 9768 170th Street, Edmonton, Alberta. I think that's pretty cool. The wife wanted a Frosty, so I took the opportunity to redeem this Baconator coupon. Look at that. I honestly could not tell you the last time I had a Baconator. Woo-wee. After a day of driving around, we have finally arrived at the Home Depot. So we find ourselves looking at pipe cutters because we're going to be cutting some of those Adil's table legs. I need to find one that can cut a table leg that is 1 5/8 size. Adjustable would be optimal. And this one looks like it's designed for PVC pipe, which is plastic, but the legs are metal. I don't know, might need something a little more heavy duty. All right, so that's gonna be the newest tool in my toolkit. We're gonna try and use this thing here to cut IKEA Adil's legs. We probably could get away with using 1x6s to build our frame, but I just think that those Adil's table leg screws are like longer than that by a slight margin. I just feel like 2x6s will be optimal. So this is 2x6x8. They're $12.98, which is an outrageous price if you ask me. I think the one on the top here is just perfect. But while I was in the car, I was kidding about the one on the top there. But while I was in the car, I actually figured out that I only need 4 of these. So I'm gonna buy 3 because we have 1 at home. We now have everything we require: dog food, baby mattresses, wood, and a pipe cutter. So my first mission when I got home was to cut an Adil's leg using the pipe cutter. I think it's more so designed for plastic pipes. A little bit of trial and error there. Probably gonna trace a line on the next one, but I mean, we got her done, right? So obviously I just cut it to a random length. I'm gonna go have to measure and then recut this one to the right length. But as you can see, I transferred my leg over. Just gonna have to draw a line and be a little bit more aggressive next time. But yeah, I think it's gonna work. I hope it works for 20 of them or however many I need. Let's unload the wood and start building our frame. So I don't have a table saw or any of those fancy tools or anything, but I do have this 3/4 inch melamine right here. And my intention is to cut it down to 15 inches by 40 inches because these are already cut to a perfect 40 inches. And I need to make a platform that is 200 inches long. So using my 4 2x6s and also my 40-inch pieces of melamine, I'm going to cut 5 of them into the 15-inch increment, and that should span 200 inches. And I'm going to do it using my skill saw and my vacuum to clean up the mess. 3 down, and there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of waste, does there? And I made sure to wear my best trousers for this job here. So I ended up using 2 of my 3/4 inch melamine sheets, and we got 6 pieces that are 40 inches long by 15. That's our waste. And now I just need to clean up my mess here. Yeah, let's get that cleaned up before we start making the frame. Okay, so these boards right here are 5.5 inches. So combined, they're 11 inches. Luckily, I have these blocks right here that are about 6.5 inches. I'm gonna cut these down to 4 inches. So then when I put them between to create my frame, it's 15 inches, which is the width of the table frame that we need to make. So I'm gonna cut these down to 4 inches using my miter saw. So I started assembling the frames there, and of course, I forgot to charge the drill, and it died. So that's typical. But there's still other stuff that I can work on. Now I'm trying to figure out how tall we want to make these legs, right? So it's going to be a base plate, a brick, a plate, and then 4 MERPs, which is about 9.5 inches tall. Exactly, actually. So I've got to cut our legs to 9.5 inches. However, we have to factor in the height of the melamine and also the 2x6s, which is 2.25 inches. So what is that? 7.25 inches I gotta make the legs, I think. However, with that said, I think I might make them a little bit shorter and then use the adjustments on the bottom to make them the perfect height. Because if I make them too big, that's a problem. But if I make them too small, I can make the micro adjustments with the screw on the bottom of the leg, right? So that's what I'm sort of thinking. So I think to err on the side of caution, I am going to make my leg 7 inches. So then that'll put us at 9.25 inches. And then I can adjust the leg out 1/4 inch because these things can adjust right out to about 1 inch. I'd say about 3/4 of an inch safely. So then I'll just have all the legs set out to about there. So it makes up for the 1/4 inch. So I'm going to cut all the legs to 7 inches. And I'm going to measure that about 8 more times before I start cutting them because it's a lot of work. And also money. So you've got to make sure we do it right the first time. Well, the second try went a lot better than the first, and that is officially the mini leg. That is 7 inches tall. Look at that, hey? It's a thing of beauty. It's a bit rough around the edges there, but that's because I jammed this adjuster into the first one and had to pry it out of the first one. So it's got a little bit of rough edges there. And the black that you see there is actually just Sharpie. Probably going to remove that with some Goo Gone, but once again, you won't even see these legs. So it's irrelevant. I got what I wanted. I converted an Adil's leg into the mini leg. That's so cool. See, look, screw top right there. Boop, 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 right into the plate. Pretty cool, hey? So I have to make 10 of these. So 1 down, 9 to go. Okay, so my drill's back and running here. I just adjusted our center blocks there to 3.5 inches, just because if I make it exactly 15, I don't think it's going to work. It's good to have the 1/4 inch on either side wiggle room. So once again, just whipped out the miter saw and cut those really quickly. So now let's build our frame. Okay, it's not my best effort, but I believe it's called a toenail. I toenailed screws in from the side, and it's just holding those little blocks in, just so these 2x4 or 2x6s are connected, so I can bring this down as one solid unit. So when I put the legs on, it's one solid unit. Now I will be putting the Malamane on top, just like that there, and it's a 1/4 inch smaller, so there can be a 1/4 inch on either side of a little bit of an overhang. And there'll be 4 inches on either side of overhang as well, which is the same as our tables. Now, I know I didn't have to use the 2x6s to make this platform, but I wanted it to be super strong and I wanted it to be super level. Also, by doing this, I can reduce the amount of legs that we needed. So I just think it's going to prevent bowing in the long run. Plus, we're making it like 9.5 inches tall, right? So there's enough clearance for trains, no problem. So that's sort of what it's going to look like. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create 2 frames that are that size, and I'm going to screw those 2 frames together, and then I'm going to put 2 legs, 4 legs, 6 legs, and then 8 would be in the center of the next frame, and 10 on the end of that frame. So 10 legs, and then what I'm going to do is bring the frames down, screw those together, and then I'll bring the Malamine down, and I'll screw the Malamine tops onto the frames, just like what we did with our Lego tables. And that's why there's such a big overhang right here, because technically there's going to be 2 frames. So I guess I should build the next frame. So just a bit more insight behind my leg cutting here. Once I got one cut to the right size, I use this as my jig. So I hold it up to the next leg, and I put little markings, and then I use painter's tape or green tape, and I go around it, and then I draw my perfect circle going around. And then you just line up your pipe cutter, bolt it in there and clamp it in there, I should say, and then go around making a little incision, and then just go around and around and around for like 3-4 minutes, and then boom, eventually it makes its way through and you've got your short leg. So that's how I'm doing it. Well, everybody, I've got 8 of 10 legs cut. And my knees and my feet and my back are killing me because you have to do it on the ground because you got to like hold the thing with your knees and twist the pipe, and it's like 100 rotations, probably 10 or I said 3 or 4 minutes per leg. It's got to be 10 or 15. Just sitting there rotating and rotating. I'm going to go do 2 more. But first, I earned this beer. It's already 7 o'clock at night. Where did the day go, Tico? Where does the time go, buddy? My leg and like my knees and my legs, or like my feet and my back, are just killing me.
Well, while he was doing that, I was taking a swift 2.5 hour nap.
A big old pregnancy nap, eh? Yep. Almost there, though. We'll be able to install the tables tomorrow in a Bricksie video. We got all the legs cut. The frames are built. The plates have been mounted. That means it's time to assemble. So you'll probably notice that there's 2 short legs missing from over here. Well, that's where they're going to connect. And I have these ones here hanging off the edge a little bit. So 3 screws on one side and 2 on the other. And I plan to hopefully connect these 2 frames using the leg brackets. I think it'll give it enough support because it's going to have the melamine screwed in on the top as well, right? And also, I mean, I used to have the melamine in the under table scenes with no frame. So I'd imagine it's going to be more than supported with all of this wood. Let's flip it over and assemble the final product. All right, everybody. I'm grinning right now. This looks incredible. Like this is awesome. Check it out. So we've got the table here, 200 inches long. Look at it. It's longer than Jose's car, like much longer. It's crazy. And then all the little mini legs underneath the frame. Thing is sturdy. I bet you can walk. I can walk on it. I'm not going to though. That's awesome. Okay, so the only thing I need to do is screw the two tables together. I plan on doing that through the wood and also through the table legs, those little brackets that or plates that conjoin them. And then I'll also screw the pieces of wood together as well. And if I need to use some metal fasteners, I can do that as well. But this thing is like super sturdy, super strong. Wow, I can't even speak right now. I'm so excited. Super strong, and I can't wait to place it in the Lego room. The Lego room's not quite ready for it, but it will be ready soon. And we're going to place it in a video coming out on the Bricksie YouTube channel in the very, very near future. So stay tuned for that. And then look at this. When we put our Lego there, the table's just a little bit lower, which is perfect because the legs are just at ground height right now. So it's very clever to make the legs smaller than they needed to be. That way, if they needed to go up in size, they can. But if you made them too big, you can't bring them down in size. Other than, of course, cutting them again. But nobody wants to cut more of those than they have to. Believe me, that was not a fun process. So that's really about it for today. Just wanted to take you on the journey as we build the new elevated platform for the Lego City. Super exciting stuff. Remember to comment below, like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Peace out.